welcome to Just Chopsing Podcast. And tonight we have Wendall Kingpin, as he likes to be known as, from the band Perla, and also my cousin David and co-host. Cousin David, co-host David, cousin. As usual. Well, yeah, as usual. So, how's it going, Wendall?
Not bad, dude. Not bad. How you keeping, alright?
Yeah, not bad. Beard's looking good, man.
Thank you, boy. Thank you. Yours is looking pretty damn good yourself.
Yeah, well, I cut half mine off because it was down here, like. But yeah, sometimes it just gets on my nerves. But what happened was I was lying in bed,
yeah,
and because it was so long, my girlfriend kept lying on it, so I had cut it off.
Congratulations of a bearded man, eh?
I don't know what you think, Dave, but
I said to you before, didn't I? I kept trying to grow mine long, and it just grows all over the place. So I just keep it trimmed now. Whatever.
You gotta live with it, Dave. You gotta live with it.
I know.
That's right. That's what beards. He wouldn't have it. He said, "Oh, it keeps growing all these funny places." I said, "Dave, mine does as well." And he's like, "No, it doesn't. Yours is straight." I said, "That's because you straighten it with a fucking hairdryer." Oh, do you? I bought a wooden brush and everything.
I did. I bought product. I went online and bought product. I had wax. I bought conditioner. I bought a proper wooden comb. And then the kids reckon I look like a hobo, so they say you can trim it.
Well, then you would have fitted right at home in this podcast, Dave.
I know. Never mind. So, Perla, what a weekend you just had.
It was an absolute belter, boy. An absolute belter. Yeah, to be fair, it was just amazing. The best thing was just seeing so many people out there enjoying themselves. Just a field full of heavy metalers, giving it plenty, loud music. It was immense. It was amazing.
Awesome. What was the weather like down there? Was it all right?
We were only there for the Friday, so on the Friday it was glorious. It was magic. I think it had a bit of rain the day after, but I don't think it was too bad overall.
Yeah, that's good. How many people were in the crowd, do you reckon?
God, what, overall, the whole festival, or watching us?
Watching you, yeah.
Fucking hundreds.
The tent was rammed. To be fair, we couldn't believe the reception. It was absolutely rammed from front to back. A few familiar faces down the front as well, so it was all good. But the turnout for us was phenomenal. Couldn't have asked for more.
Oh, it's good, isn't it? That is good. Oh, I can't fault that, buddy. Did you get to sell some merch as well? Like some
we actually made money on merch. We couldn't believe it. We thought, there's so many big bands playing and whatever that Freaky was sort of like, should we take merch? I was like, dude, you got to take the merch, even if it's just the name up there. Not expecting to sell, if we sold one thing, it would have been a bonus, but in the end, we sold quite a bit, so it was magic, like.
Brilliant. That's what you want, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
You didn't get to take any of these, though, did you?
Oh, look at that belter, like. Getting jiggy with it. You getting jiggy with it every day?
I haven't actually built it yet. My missus opened up the case and I slapped their hands and closed the back down. I said, I got to get that signed by the boys yet. I said, you ain't getting your mitts into it.
I'm sure we can sort that for you, boy.
Good stuff.
So where are you from? Oh, go on, sorry, Dave.
I was just going to say, because I've had a look, and I'm struggling to find when you guys were actually formed in Perla. Was it 2018 or was it the year before?
It was 2018 we formed. I mean, we were saying on the weekend, it's like we've been together 4 years, but you can take a year and a half of that out of it, really, from what's just happened. So to get the Bloodstock in 2.5 years as a band is magic. Like, do you know what I mean? We can't believe we've got as far so quickly because we've all been in this business before and we know how long it takes to get to certain levels, and I think we're just proud of ourselves for getting there. It was it's been the best. I'd say I've still seen the boys. So it's been the best 4 years I've had in a band in a long time, like, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you win a competition to get there? We
did. It was the Metal to the Masses, like the South Wales region.
Okay.
It's been done for years, and we're not big fans of Battle of the Bands. In fact, we hate them. So we didn't know whether to do it. We didn't do it last year. And then we thought, well, let's do it this year, even if it's just the name on the posters, give us advertising, whatever else. And then, of course, the gig thing didn't happen. And it was like Lady Luck was on our side. The timing, we'd just been asked to do a live session in Sin City. And, of course, we got that video back at the right time, and it was awesome. And I said to the boys, get it in there, we take one track off the 3, send it in, and see what happens, because they decided it was all going to be on video format to decide.
Yeah.
So we went with it, and lo and behold, they picked us to play. So, couldn't ask for more.
Yeah. They did the same sort of thing at Winterfest, didn't they, this year? Some of it was live, and some of it was... Yeah, we had a band on that's gone through to the Heats. To more, is it more Heats? I don't fucking know.
Well, I'm not sure how it, because we didn't go through the process. I'm not really sure how it was supposed to work. So I mean, it worked in our favour. The timing was right. There was there's so many great bands in the actual competition. And even just from Swansea, our mates, Sons of Thunder and stuff like that. So many good bands, and to win it was a privilege, an honour. To be fair.
Yeah, maybe they just saw your fucking picture on Instagram and thought we better give him the fucking slot. He looks like a crazy fucker.
You never know.
He'd be coming and burning the place down.
I love it. Classic.
Yeah, so you've got 2 EPs out then. So the first one was Belter, and that came out the same year you formed then in 2018. Yeah.
It is a belter as well, to be fair.
Yes, good. It is a great. I was telling Terry some of the tracks on there, and my favourite is probably Fortified, to be honest, live. You just can't ignore the Gusher, can you?
You can't ignore the Gusher, boy.
No.
The Gusher lives. It's got its own entity. It lives.
Yeah, I was listening to it on Spotify earlier, actually. There's about 7 songs on there altogether on Spotify, I think.
There's 6 on Belter and there's 7 on another belt. Well, 7-ish on another Belter.
Right, okay. Because there's only 1 EP on Spotify then, is there?
No, they're both on there.
Oh, okay.
Was it the red one or the green one?
The red one, I think.
Yeah, the red Belter.
Belter, that is, yeah.
Yeah, there's 6 tracks on Belter, and then there's the 7 on another Belter. But that's because of the one cheeky, sneaky track, which on the CD is the secret track, but of course on Spotify it's got an extra track.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Can't hide it on it.
And it's a classic track too.
Is that, I haven't heard it then. I have to have a listen to it.
Get on there. We got Gary on the drums making his little vocal debut at the end. This class.
Oh, right, okay. So Gwari is Andy Hunt's brother?
That is Andy Hunt's brother, indeed.
Yeah. They look alike, don't they?
They do.
They look alike. Look, they used to look more like when they were younger. They're not so much anymore. But then that's because I'm with Gary all the time now. So,
rubbing off on him, you.
Yeah, but fair play, Andy Hunt headlining with Bill Campbell and the Bastard Sons on Saturday night on that stage wearing a Perla t-shirt. What a legend.
Oh, was he?
He wore a Perla t-shirt, did he? Wicked.
He did indeed.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's why you sold so many.
No, he didn't even tell us. He just said he'd saved it for the big gig. So he is a legend.
Yeah, sweet.
That is good.
Yeah,
that is really good. Yeah, you guys are doing really well, and all the bands in South Wales. We've been talking about it quite a few times with a lot of bands we've had on, and there's such a good growth again now in South Wales, and there's so many good bands coming out, isn't there?
No, without shadow of doubt. I mean, the South Wales scene there's always been amazing bands, but at the moment, everyone seems to be coming together and sort of moving forward together, which hasn't happened in the past, which I think is amazing. And there's the real, but it's just so many great bands, and none of them sound the same, which is what I love about it. Rather than all the bands from one scene sounding the same, it's more reminiscent of like the Seattle scene when none of them sounded the same. So that's what I love about it.
Well, we did have it a few years ago. I mean, 2008, 2009, when Lost Prophets were coming through and they were bringing through some bands with them,
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, as we know, that all sort of went peaked on.
Oh,
And then the South Wales music scene sort of fell flat on its face for a year or two.
Yeah.
You know, but now the revival is brilliant. I mean, luckily the industry has caught wind of it again, and they've gone back down there to South Wales actually and said, well, fucking hell, there's still a great amount of bands here, and you know, I mean, we were talking to the Crows, to be honest, and who was I talking to? Who were we talking to last week? Was it Scarlet Rebels, I think?
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah.
And I said it's a bit reminiscent now of like with the Crows moving so well. I know they've been around for a long time, but now they're moving big steps, really.
Oh yeah.
And I said it's a bit reminiscent of the old Stereophonics days, you know. Of when I know it's a different genre of music, but when the Stereophonics were coming through, you could walk into any pub in South Wales and it would either be on the radio or on the jukebox. There would be a Stereophonic song on, you know. And that's probably going to be the same for the Crows now, to be honest.
I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, you know, those are phenomenal times with the Phonics and the cool Cymru scene coming through.
Yeah.
You know, I was lucky enough to be sort of around that at that time as well, like when I was playing in Powder. So, you know, they were good days. They were great times. And, of course, I mean, I can remember going on a plane to Los Angeles, and, of course, that Richard Branson had signed the Phonics. We were flying on a Virgin plane, and all the sound things with the headphones, it was all Stereophonics. It was just, you know, they were plugging them like mad everywhere, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Good days.
Yeah, man. I mean, Powder, I never heard of I haven't really heard of your other bands, to be honest.
Oh, the Powder's on Spotify as well now, mate, if you want to try it. We got the album 20 years after we were supposed to. So it's only been up about 12 months now. So have a look. Weapons of Mass Seduction by Powder.
Oh, that sounds a bit better than some of the other stuff. Because what was I listening to earlier? I pulled something up earlier. It was called... What the fuck was it called? Killing for Company? Was that like a death metal band or something?
Yeah, there is a death metal band called Killing for Company now, and I think some of the songs mix over on. I'm saying that, I think ours have gone off Spotify now. I think they've disappeared for a while. So.
Oh, have they? So that's not your band then?
That is not us. We're not that. We weren't heavy.
Because I was thinking, I put it on and I was listening. I said, "What the fucking hell is this?" Because I listened to your Pearl stuff, and then I put that on. I thought, "Oh, I'll look it up, Killing for Company." And it's like, nah, I can't. I don't know what the fuck is it.
I actually really like them. I think they're great. I mean, Killing for Company, our Killing for Company was a lot heavier than the Phonics, but I don't think Stu was going all the way up that end. Like, it wasn't that. No offense.
Yeah, that was I thought, well, I was just confused for a bit, and then I turned it back off again. I was like, yeah, something didn't ring true there. I thought, Stuart Cable can't be playing this fucking sort of stuff. But
say now, if you'd ever heard him sing, you might have thought it was him.
Yeah, he was singing in a band, wasn't he?
He did sing in a band once, yeah. Zephyr, one of his early bands, and we did actually get him on a couple of backing vocals when we were doing it. He used to have the old headset mic. A lot of it was just like,
yeah.
He was on there, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame he lost his life so young and the way he did, really.
Ah, definitely do. I still miss him every single day.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I met him once in a nightclub. It was like in Swansea. Fucking hell. Yeah. I was about 30, so he was about 26, I expect.
Yeah.
I think it was just as the Phonics were breaking, maybe just a little bit before, but yeah, sad times, man.
Absolute legend of a man. This, you know, when I first met him, well, I met him years before even before we were Powder, we were a band called Mother Nature just before we changed the name to Powder, and we supported the Phonics just after we played in the Gwyn Hall in Meath, okay. And I think they just released Tramps Fest.
Yeah.
And so we supported them there and got to know Stu through there, really. And, you know, just an absolute legend of a man. It didn't matter how big they got. He was always exactly the same, never changed. Classic hometown boy, loved being home with the boys, going to the pub. And, you know, I do every day. Guaranteed at least once a day, I'm going to hear one track by the Phonics on the radio anyway. But he's always there, always in the back of my mind.
Yeah. For me, I just couldn't believe it when he got fired from the band, to be honest.
No,
I mean, I think it broke his heart. So
well, it did break his heart, and you know, it was hard times for him, and I think that was part of what Killing the Company was like getting it going again and doing what he loved and finding what he loved again and starting it. And we had such fucking good times doing that band. It was, you know, we did some amazing things, like, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a shame. We were the first band to play at the new Liberty Stadium.
The Liberty Stadium. Apparently, I've now got to say it's called the Swansea.com Stadium. Apparently, which
it's called now, is it?
Well, no. Apparently, Martin Morgan, the money man in my town, has now sponsored the stadium and called it the Swansea.com Stadium, which is shit.
I thought that was that Bryn guy off Twin Town. He had all the fucking money, didn't he?
He did. Bryn Cartwright.
He's a
Bryn Cartwright.
You'll have him for fucking supper.
That's the T-boys.
Well, that was the name of your one tour, wasn't it? Was that the tour before COVID? That was, wasn't it? When you were in Perla?
Well, it had two names. Our name was Hot Dogs for T-Boys Tour, but I think it had the real name was Hit the Ground Running Tour. But I think in the end, all of us, as Sam Buffalo Summer, went, Hot Dogs for T's much better, isn't it? Another classic freaky line, isn't it?
That's it, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah.
So you had something about Buffalo Summer, Dave?
Sorry?
Did you ask something about Buffalo Summer?
What, for tonight?
No, you were talking about, was it Wendall's brother or something in there?
Yeah, I only just twigged today that Johnny's your brother. I can't believe that. I only just twigged it today, so it's kind of like looking into it and then reading into it, and then obviously you played together in Cheershot Revival, and then when I was looking into that, and I found some press cuttings and stuff, and it said Wendall and his brother, Johnny. I was like, his fucking brother? I can't believe that. So I've been watching both bands I started watching Buffalo in 2016, started watching you boys in 2018, and never ever connected the dots.
Well, I got to tell you the truth. We're not actually brothers. We are brothers, but not by the same mothers and fathers, if you know what I mean. It's a lot of people. My brother was in Cheershot Revival as well, who's Andy Glam Williams.
Right.
And a lot of people, because Johnny was a Williams as well, they sort of thought that with the three of us were brothers at the time. And of course, me and Johnny have the similarities with the curly hair and whatever else.
Okay.
But we class ourselves as brothers. We still do to this day, but we're not actually blood brothers.
Right. So he's a brother from another mother.
Yeah. Well, in the one article I read, it said that you and Johnny were brothers, but Andy wasn't a brother. That's what it said in the article.
Was that in the Classic Rock article?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think they got it backwards at the time. I think they looked at us because my brother looks nothing like me, so they looked at John and went, "Nah, that's got to be wrong. He's his brother, not a skinny, handsome guy."
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So much for my reading then.
Yeah, you can unconnect the dots, Dave.
I know.
As far as I'm concerned, you're right, because he is, Johnny is my brother. He's I still see him and work with him every day, so it's
brilliant.
He is the man. Like,
yeah.
I actually met Johnny when he was 17, 18 years old. Powder had split up, and we decided we were going to reform it, and the guitarist Dean didn't want to redo the band. So in the meantime, I'd met this 17 and 18-year-old guy come round to my studio in my house, and with a couple of the other boys who he was going to join a band with, and he played me some demos on an 8-track recorder he had, and I couldn't believe what I was fucking hearing. I was like, this kid plays he just makes it look easy. It was just natural. He's just the greatest guitar player I'd ever heard. I was just like, I need this guy in my band. So I went and saw the guy who used to be in Powder and said, look, I'm reforming the band. You definitely don't want to do it because I found someone else. And he was like, no, definitely don't. So Johnny joined the band. We actually were called Powder for about 4 or 5 gigs.
Okay.
And then it was Johnny's playing. It was like, the way I'd say it, he was so good. We put him in. It was like having I don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo. You don't tell him how to play football. You put him on the pitch and you let him go. Like, you just go, yeah, go on and just do what you want. And that's what he did. And it changed the whole sound of the band. So when we recorded the first EP we did with Sheer Shock, we decided, this isn't Powder. This is a completely different beast. So I'd written this really fucking shit song that was called Sheer Shock Revival. It was terrible. We never played it. But I thought, that's a great name for a band. So I said to the boys, maybe we should change the name from Powder to Sheer Shock Revival. All agreed, and that's how that started. So and that was a great band that never really got to its potential, really.
Yeah. Okay. What happened with that band then?
Well, while we were doing Sheer Shock, we'd done the album, and we just got in the top 50 albums of the year in Classic Rock magazine. It was just starting to rise and getting some tours, and then Stuart Cable appeared on the scene and wanted my brother, my actual brother, not Johnny, to start this new band with him, because my brother was big friends with a guy called Chris Stone. Cheesy to us, swampy to some people, but he was Stu's drum tech, and he was in college with us. And he told Stu, look, this guy Andy, you've got to get him in your band. So he started coming around and coming and watching us play, and then asked my brother to join the band. So my brother started jamming with him while we were going. So, it was a strange period, because we were doing so well, and then it looked like one member was going to leave. And then we had, my brother and I were in a massive car crash down the Gower, and I was thrown out of the car, ended up in a bush, and literally couldn't walk for nearly 12 months. So I smashed up all my hip and everything else. And so in the meantime, Sheer Shock sort of, everything, all the music stopped, and my brother carried on rehearsing with Stuart. And then he had a different bass player at the time, and the bass player left, and he asked if I'd go up and help out to rehearse, to try to test out singers. So I went up, and then it just sort of rolled, and we were going to continue with Sheer Shock, but it just wasn't happening. Like, so I couldn't stand in front of the band at that time. So when I went to Killing Company, I was just the bass player and backing vocals. So I had to make the decision: do I do it or do I not? And in the end, I made that decision. Whether it was the right one or not, who knows? Some people think it wasn't. Some people think it was. So
yeah, you can't say, can you?
No, you can't. And at that time, it was. I'd had 3 children in 18 months, and I had to make a decision what I was going to do, and I decided I'm going to have to do Killing the Company. I would have loved to have kept Sheer Shock going at the same time as well, but things move and things change, and that's how Buffalo Summer came about. So if we'd have carried on with Sheer Shock Revival, who knows? We may not have ever had Buffalo Summer either. So
how do you manage to have 3 kids in 18 months?
1 and then twins.
Oh, that's lucky, isn't it?
Some might say.
Are they boys or girls?
1 boy and 2 girls.
Oh, so expensive weddings coming up then.
Oh yeah, boy. Oh yeah.
You need to headline a few festivals for them.
That would be nice. Definitely.
Yeah. So going back to Killing the Company then, I read that you released an EP, and the EP was going to be kind of like a part of the album, but you never actually formally released the album at that time.
Well, we were going to release a limited run of the album, which it was still a full album. It was like 9 or 10 songs, okay. But there was a full track list, and it was about 13 tunes. And so we decided we were going to put that out first. We had a lot of come-ins and go-ins with record companies and a lot of hassle. And so in the end, we decided we were going to put out this limited run for ourselves. So that's what we did. And ironically, the day it came out was the day Stuart died. So it sort of just hit the whole thing dead. And a lot, there are people out there who got the album itself, but it never actually got a full release. So it's still there in the bag, like, at the end of the day. And we'd love to get it out at some point, and we have to see. But again, there's a lot of issues with the ownership of who owns the tracks and whatever else. So we'll see in the future. Hopefully, we'll get a release on that as well, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? That'd be really...
It would be great, because for me, it's I mean, we recorded 2 albums with Killer Company. Neither of them came out. But the first album with Stewart I think it's phenomenal. And I just love to hear people hear his playing on it. He played out of his skin. Personally, I think it was the greatest drums he'd ever recorded.
Yes.
Powerhouse. Heavier.
Yeah. That's a shame you can't get it out there then, really.
Well, we're still looking at it and talking about it, and we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, within the next couple of years, maybe get it out there. We shall see.
Yeah, who's got the credits for it? The songwriting credits, I mean.
Well, it's split across the board, between the 5 of us. We split everything equally, but
okay.
It's because Stu's not around anymore. It's different because we got to deal with the states and lawyers and whatever else. So it's a different ball game.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you would think only for the honour of his memory that his family would let it out.
Yeah. Well, they'd never not want it to come out, but it's just. I think it's just the issues with dealing with it it's not as easy as with our other bands where should we get, like with the Sheer Shot last year, a couple of months ago, the boys contacted, say, should we put it out? Should we get the album and the EP up? And it was like, yeah. And that's all we needed. And it was bang.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as that, but we'll get there.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? It's just, it's a bit of a strange, it's a bit of a strange one. I can't quite get my head around it. I mean, I don't know. Is it really in hands of the lawyers, or couldn't you just go ahead and publish it?
Well, we don't know. We haven't really pushed ahead with it to do it. I mean, because we live so far apart, and members of the band as well, and we keep in touch now and then, but we don't see each other a lot. And we'd love to get it out, but the desire to push forward and get it out there, it brings back. The thing is, there's a lot of memories and a lot of. That's the only thing with Killer Company is. At the end of the day, the centre point of that band is Stuart Cable, and whenever we get together, those things come up again, and it's it's amazing, but it's sad as well. It was amazing times, but it was the end of it was one of the hardest times in our lives. It was unreal.
Yeah, especially if you died on the day of the release. That's fucking kicking the balls, isn't it?
The day of the release, and 4 days before we were supposed to play Download Festival.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it was a double whammy, really. It was a mad one. I mean, we had offers to still play the festival. Chris Slade from AC/DC offered to play drums for us to actually do it, but we couldn't do it. It was
no.
4 days. There was just no way. And I know they paid tribute to Stu and played one of the songs on the main stage and put videos up of him, which was amazing. But there was no way 4 days later we could get up on that stage and play it. There was no chance.
Yeah. It would have been too much anyway, wouldn't it? I mean, it would have been a nightmare. I did watch Get Involved. So I found another thing, and that's a that's a great song, and the video to it is really nice as well. Because obviously,
that's got all the clips from the.
Yeah, it's like a montage of all you guys together, and it's a really, really good track. It's a great track, and I thought the video was really nice. So I did
there's a couple online. I think there's quite a lot of our stuff is on SoundCloud and on. So you can get most of the album on SoundCloud and YouTube. There's a lot. We put together. Singer Greg put together a lot of videos to go. Montage videos to go together with some of the songs. I think there's one for Watching the Fires Burn, which is off the second album when we had Jamie Williams playing drums on that, and that's a montage of photos of with Stu at the start, and then it sort of shows the transition of Jamie coming into the band as well. So well worth a watch. We're proud of.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, it is good. And then there was another song, Former Mine in Town, and that was a memorial CD or a memorial track.
Yeah, that was going to be the first single anyway. We were getting a bit of airplay on that with that track before whatever happened with Stu, and but then we decided to use that. We used that as like a tribute, and then we did Born Yesterday as well. We used as like a charity single for him as well. So we tried to use it in a positive way. I mean, we carried the band going for another 12 months after Stuart passed. I mean, we had Aled Richards from Catatonia filled in on drums for us first, for about the first 6 months. And then Jamie, who roadied, he was Stu's drum tech in Killer Company anyway, so he grew up in the same street as me with my brother, and we just wanted to keep it in-house. Jamie was a phenomenal drummer, so he could picture, and we recorded our second album. So, but former mine in town is, we worked with the American producer Bob Mallet. We recorded it in Mono Valley, and Bob came over, and oh man, he kicked our asses. To work with this American, even Stu hadn't worked with these big American producers before, and it was an eye-opener, and he really got the best out of us in the songwriting and the performance, and it was an amazing experience. Like,
yeah, that's cool. That is cool.
Yeah, at least you got some good memories,
Oh man, that's one thing you can never take away. You can never lose, can you? It's,
yeah.
They were amazing times. We were signed to a record label up in Newcastle, and we were up there living in a house together, recording the albums. It was phenomenal times. Like it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's nice. I've heard things like bands like Those Damn Crows. I think I've heard them say that they Killing Company was sort of an influence or whatever. Whether that's true, I don't know. But it would be nice. It would be nice to know that that some people did love the band and take it on board. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. Well, like I said earlier, it's such a big scene, but it's also very close community as well. So I know all you bands know each other and work with each other an awful lot. And
this is it. I mean, I saw pictures of Tristan from Florence Black on stage like early on, wearing a Killing Company T-shirt and things like that. And it was like, it's nice to know that the band isn't forgotten. Like,
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Are you sure it's not the other band?
I could read the logo.
Didn't say death on it.
So if we go back to Perla then, buddy.
Yeah.
So what else have you got coming up this year? I see you've got a couple more festivals coming up as well. So we've got Hard Rock Hell coming up in November.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that one. That'll be a great one, like.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got that, and we've got the Christmas Bash up in Abertillery as well. But most of our dates are still moving to next year. So
are they? Okay.
We were supposed to play with Jeff Tate from Queensryche yesterday in the Party Pavilion. That moved to May next year. And then we were supposed to be playing with Anvil in Sin City in a couple of weeks. And then a couple of days ago, that's been moved to next year. So a lot of the American bands are still leaving it till next year. So typical, we were booked with the bloody American bands.
Yeah. Is that purely because they can't travel over here at the moment, is it? And
I'd imagine so, or the hassle of coming over here. I know that at Bloodstock, Devon Townsend came over and had to quarantine for like 12 days before he could go on stage. Couldn't bring his band and ended up playing with a band he'd never played before in his life. Obviously amazing musicians, but he said he was saying, I read an interview, it was a nightmare having to be quarantined right up to the gig, and then whatever happens back on the way out then.
Yeah. So have you got any more little gigs coming up where you guys are playing yourselves, or you playing with any bands?
Because we're looking at like trying to get some small, some maybe a couple of local and smaller ones around the country. As these are being moved, we're going to try and replace them with something else. So, I got no doubt we'll do a homecoming gig in the Duke in Meath, our old classic, with the Grandmaster Sensei Tony Grunt.
Yeah,
that's got to be done. So we're definitely booking that, and hopefully more around. But I mean, that's the annoying thing at the moment is I can't even give you any dates, because that's how we literally are just waiting to see if they're going to happen, and they just keep moving all the time.
Yeah, so just keep looking on your socials then to see what's happening.
Definitely. There might be a few cheeky surprises chucked in. You never know.
That's it. That sounds good. We'll get you up.
I was just going to say
up a Dragonfly as well. You played up there already, haven't you?
Well, Nick is another one from the Dragonfly I need to get in touch with, because he's been asking me for us to go up there and do a gig again and whatever. And up until now, I haven't been able to set a date with him. So I'm going to be on that now this week.
Cool. That'd be good.
That'd be good. David will be there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I've never actually been to the Duke either, so we've seen you guys play. We've seen you play bloody everywhere in South Wales, but we've never actually seen you guys at the Duke. So
you got to come to the Duke, boy. It's the Church of Metal in Wales, like, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it is the holy land.
Yeah, we'll definitely come down and check you out down there. Are there any places to stay overnight? You got like a travel lodge or anything in Neath? Must have something down there.
I don't know about in Neath. I don't know about in Neath. There is in Swansea, but you're too far. But I'm not actually sure if there's a travel lodge in Neath. I don't think there is. But
there'll be something down there. And on that A465 road, there's got to be something on there, isn't there?
There'll be something there, definitely. Like.
Yeah, so we can both have a beer then. Otherwise, we'll end up having to do what do you call it? Rock, paper, scissors. So you can fucking drive.
Got to have a drink. It's got to be done.
I know.
David's off the booze.
I had a really rough. Well, it was Nick's opening bash.
Yeah.
Last week, weekend before last, and I haven't had one since because I was really, really fucking rough. I gotta be honest.
Hey, you know what he did? He sent me a text message. He said, "I've been drinking Thatcher's Gold, and it's made me really ill." I said, "Anything with the word fucking Thatcher in it's going to make me fucking ill." You know?
Oh, it was rough. I couldn't even eat my tea. I'd come home, I couldn't eat my tea. My burger and chips, I went straight to bed. It was shocking.
After he'd spewed everywhere?
Yeah, I had, yeah. All over my socks, all over my new merch t-shirt. I fucking made a hell of a mess.
Oh.
You know you've had a good night then, don't you?
Hey, for fun, eh?
That's it. I'm sure I'd seen you on a couple of other posters as well for like Hangar 18 and
we have
other places. Are they next year as well?
They're all next year. There's one with Collateral in Hangar 18. I think that's May next year as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, most of the venues now are booking for next year.
Yeah.
I said to the boys at the start, when all this was going on, I said, I generally didn't think we'd get any gigs this year. I thought, that's not happening, and I said, if we do get any, then it's a bonus. And then we got Bloodstock, and it was like, yeah, that's a fucking bonus, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Now you've had that, it's kind of like you're right up on the wave, do you know what I mean? So you just want to ride in it now, isn't it?
Let's hope so, man. We just got to try and ride it and see where we go from there. It's, it definitely big up our profile a bit. I mean, we had such a good reception of people, even just walking through the crowd. People coming on to us saying, set was amazing. And I was amazed they even recognised us because fucking nearly every bloke there looked like me. It was all on. I was walking around like going, fucking hell, doppelganger.
Yeah. It's probably freaky because he is freaky. You know what I mean? He's not on his own here, isn't he?
That's that the beautiful blonde hair.
That's right, yeah. And his obviously beard.
Well, we were walking through the crowd and see a cameraman coming over, and it was the BBC. And they came over to the four of us, and they were like, "Oh, will you do a little interview for the news tonight and whatever?" We were like, "Yeah." And it was like, "Oh yeah, you three get out the fucking way. We only want to interview him." so he did all the spiel, chatting away as he does, like full flow. And unbeknownst to the BBC, he's there with his proud to be a lesbian patch on his fucking patch, on his jacket, on his
I didn't even notice that. I didn't, because I did see it on Facebook, so I watched it. But obviously I seen he had his jacket on, but I didn't notice any of his patches. Yeah,
it was on there. But I mean, we went back to the travel lodge in the night, and just before the news came on, we were like, "Oh, gutted we could see you on the news." And he was like, "Boys, they're not going to use me on the news. It's not going to happen." And we were like, "They're definitely going to fucking use you on the news." And then I was like, "Hang on, boys, we're in we're in the region. If it's going to be on the regional news, it'll be on. Stick it on." So we put the telly on. Me and Evsy there with the cameras ready to film, and he's like, "It's not going to be on. It's not happening." And all of a sudden, there he comes, like, "Yay!" It was obvious they were going to use him. Definitely, 100%. Like,
yeah, I could hear you laughing in the background. It was great.
It was a classic. You couldn't have written it like. Of all the people to pick on, it was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Did they ask him if he'd played and what band he was in and everything?
No, we were standing behind the guys filming going, Perla, when you've had one, say it. And he didn't fucking mention it.
Oh, no, that's a fucking moment missed.
Nearly.
Yeah, innit? Oh, it's like, oh.
Nearly, I'm guaranteed. Even if he'd said it, they would have edited it out. They only showed like a little bit of what he said altogether, anyway. So,
Right.
but you know, it's still on there, and you know, it's we're back thing. It is. No, it's all good.
Well, you could use it for your next song that comes up. You could use it as like an intro for your next song or something like that, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. There's all, at the end of the day, any press, whichever way it is, it's all good, isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people saw it and people react into it, and you know, it was hilarious. So it works in classic Perla style. You know, where it's the same vibe we always give off. So just let it be its own beast, innit?
Yeah, that's it. So have you been writing new material during lockdown and stuff?
Well, we've done all the pre-production for the new album. So we've got like 9-10 songs done. Well, we've changed a few bits lately that we're going to go back when we go to record it. So we basically just got to get in the studio and record it now, which we hope to have done it by now, but because of the lockdown and stuff, we didn't rush it, to be honest. We thought we'd take our time, because there's no point putting it out if you can't go out there and tour to back it. So we're going to just probably record it around the end of the year now. I think that's the plan. That's what we're thinking at the moment. So just finish off, tying up little bits with the songs. But, we're really happy with it. It's sounding great. We've even got new ones after that coming now as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Are you gonna use Phil Humphreys again, or are you thinking of using somebody else this time maybe to produce it?
No, we're going with Phil Humphreys again. Like he's, the Boneyard studio is gone now. It's closed, but Phil set up his own studio now. So, but he's like our fifth member. So we're staying with Phil and do it. He's our Martin Birch, like Iron Maiden, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna stick with that and go and see what it's like in the new studio.
Yeah, cool. We're hoping to get Phil on soon.
Yeah.
He's just been finishing off an album now. So one of the first guys he recorded was Autumn Killers.
Oh yeah.
So I've been speaking to Phil, and he said, let me get this out of the way, let me get this finished, and then he's going to come on and have a chat with us about his new studio. And you never know, it might be coming around about the same time where you guess you guys in the studio then as well. It'd be pretty cool.
Definitely, man. The man is a legend. He is one of the best.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I came across him from Lethargy.
Yeah.
All you boys are so interlinked, don't you? Do you know what I mean? It's incredible, isn't it?
All of that crew, all of those boys, they used to come and watch Powder when they were really young, and I got to know them when they were first starting out with Lethargy and the other bands, and Gary was in a band called Sanguine with his mate Woody, stuff like that, and it was just, even though we were a Swansea band, we were all in Neath College, so we were sort of based in Neath, so all of the boys from Neath, that's sort of our ground, our scene, and those boys, so all of us, we sort of all interlock into bands and out of bands now, and it's, a bit incestuous, you might say.
You're all brothers, really,
Yeah.
There's a baby machine in the corner. Bless her.
I love it.
Be your eyeball hanging out of one and an ear hanging off the other one.
Yeah. No, it's great because we all look out for each other. We all promote each other's bands, and we roadie for each other. We, the same as Freaky and Ebsy were roadieing for Buffalo Summer for years. It's, Freaky used to road. Freaky was our merch man in Powder back in the day as well. So, it's just the gang of us. It's
cool. Well, that's where I first met Ebsy and Freaky. At a Buffalo gig, that was, and I knew they were doing the merch, but obviously they were like techs as well, weren't they? So I know they were helping out on stage and doing stuff. But me and the missus didn't even know that they could play, and then obviously we come and watched the first Perla gig, and I was like, "Fuck hell, I know these boys."
Me Ebsy DJ'd together as well in Escape in Swansea and Sin City. We used to be a metal night face off, and me and Freaky DJ'd it for years, and then Ebsy joined us. So it was the three of us. And after Killing the Company finished, I didn't play for 6 years. I'd had enough. I was like, after what happened, it was like I need to get out here. I need to stop doing it. And So I DJ on a Friday night with those two, and they nag and nag and nag. Come on, you need to be in a band with us. You need to start this. It's got to be done. So I was like, eventually, I said, all right, let's do it. I went into this charity shop in town, into Cash Generator, and there was a 7-string Diamond SG hanging on the wall. And I think it was 90 quid. And I'd never played a 7-string guitar, and I thought, for that, I'm going to buy it, and I can always sell it on for more if I don't like it anyway. Brought it home, wrote 45, first time I played it, sent that to Evsy and Freaky, and they were like, that's it, that's the band, it's got to start now, like. So it all came from buying that one guitar and them nagging, and then I said to them, I said, if we do start a band, I said, it's got to be fun. I want it, I want it to be like it was when I was a kid, when I first started. The reason I loved to be in a band was, for none of the reasons of getting anywhere. It was literally, it was love, getting on stage and fucking rocking out and having a ball, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's what stage, that is the essence of Perla, is, that, we're a bunch of old bastards, but it's still like, like those young kids starting a band, it's got that feel to it, like.
Yeah, you've got the energy on stage, and then it's all through your merch as well, isn't it? So your merch is also fun as well, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And
well, I'd actually
get your ideas from, I don't know, they're cracking, they're so good.
It's my crazy brain. I actually had, when we changed the name of the band, Mother Nature to Powder, back in the day, I got like a book that I just used to write down millions and millions of band names and logos, just coming up with ideas constantly. That's what I used to do. And the two I came down to was Powder and Perla. They were the two names I had. And I've literally got this pad in the house. And it was like 1996 we changed the name to Powder. And I've got this drawing, Perla, when you've had one, 1996. And I've still got that book at home. So, I've actually had that idea for ages. And when we were in Sin City, they wanted to change the name of the Face Off and the Rock Night. And I suggested to them, I said, you should call it Perla, like. I said, when you've had one, everyone knows when they've had a ball in a club, it's going to be great. And they thought it was brilliant, but they went, I don't know if it's right. Then when the three of us decided, right, this is happening, and Gary from Buffalo was saying to the boys, because they were on tour, and he was like, I want to be in the band as well. So I said to them, I got a name for the band. And they're like, what? I was like, Perla, when you've had one. And they were like, that's it, we got it. So it actually, all those years, and then it finally came to fruition, like.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? That is mad. That's great.
It's like a Welshism, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
definitely.
I love all these Welshisms. They're fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That's how we came up with Just Chopsing. Actually, we were thinking, what can we call it? Because Sean's doing sapning, and. That's obviously a bit of a Welshism as well.
Yeah.
And I was just sat there with my girlfriend, and my girlfriend was like, something came on the telly, or it was something to do with being chopsy. And we were talking about being chopsy, and she was like, oh, what's being chopsy mean? I said, yeah, in Wales, it's like having an argument, or trying to talk over each other,
Yeah.
And it's like if you're talking in the street and somebody's having a go at you, it's like, you being chopsy, butt? And then we went through a couple of names, and then we came up with Just Chopsing. Like, I sent it to David, and he's like, "Oh, that's fucking excellent."
That was a classic one when I was young. You chopsing or chewing a brick?
Yeah. And if you're not chewing it, you will be in a minute.
Yeah.
Classic. Classic Welsh school round talk, innit?
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we were thinking of, we were going to chuck something in every week of kind of like a Welshism.
Yeah.
To try and educate some of the rest of the people that perhaps listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Considering it's only our cousin, and my daughter that listen to the podcast, we didn't bother in the end.
They already know more.
Yeah. But in fairness, I did
all the time now.
But I did have one mate from England, and he did say, "What's chops in it?" Because they hadn't heard that expression before. So they never come across the chops in expression. Yeah. So I had to explain to him what it was like.
sometimes we just don't realise the way the way we speak in Wales. We just think everyone understands it. You know, I think a lot of people didn't get the when you've had one thing, like especially further afield, they're like, perla, when you've had. It's like, and I'd have to explain to them, when you have an amazing time, it's a perla, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having a perla, when you've had, when you've had a good time, don't you?
Right.
And they're like,
That's it, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, it's got to be done. That's got to be done.
Definitely.
Cool. So there's album out next year.
Indeed.
Lots of gigs coming up next year, and watch this space for stuff that's happening this year, all being Perla.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know it's a gutted I can't give you like definite dates really for the rest of the year, but it literally is the Hard Rock Hell and the the Christmas party one, and those are the only two solid in stone at the moment. So we'll have to see. You never know. Someone might be going out on the road and maybe offer us with a slot on the support. So fingers crossed.
That'd be cool, yeah. Because I didn't realise the Christmas one was actually in Aberdeen, so I'll come up with that. I'd never. Who's that to? It's not the Doll's House, is it? Or is it somewhere else?
I think it's to do with the Doll's House. I think it's in the Doll's House. I think so.
Yeah. All right, cool. Oh, we'll come up there as well, because I think the last time we went up the Doll's House, we saw. I think it was my wife's cousin was singing up there for something.
Yeah.
And the singer, or one of the singers out of the Flying Pickets was up there, the guy that was in Twin Town.
Oh, yeah.
He was like compere, and I think it is like a theatre sort of thing, isn't it? And it's like a stage, and then it's staggered upwards, isn't it? Quite high. Yeah. I've been there once.
Yeah.
It wasn't karaoke, Dave, was it?
No. I can't remember what she was doing there. It might have been like a competition or like a singing competition. Definitely not karaoke.
Yeah.
And
Nobody pissed over her a little bit.
Nobody being pissed over either, thankfully. But he was Hibbard, isn't it? Brian, is it Brian Hibbard?
Brian Hibbard.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Yeah. Brian was up there, yeah. And but that was craggy. That was probably 15 years ago. That was, I guess, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, bye.
It does go quick, doesn't it? It does go quick. And we've written off a year and a half of my life already, and I haven't got many of them left. So I need to get out watching music, don't I?
Definitely. I mean, doing Bloodstock on the weekend, it was like a year and a half just disappeared in a flash. Like, you know what I mean? It was bizarre. It was as if it was just gone. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah. So that was your first proper gig, really, wasn't it? Since
that was the first gig back. And we're going there, like, to all them people. There was jumping into the frying pan, innit?
Yeah, because was the last gig you played at the Patriot then in 2020?
That was the last gig, yeah. That was the last gig we'd done. So we did the little session in Sin City, which was only 3 songs, but that was sort of like a gig, but there was no crowd, obviously. So so that was a little bit of practice for it, but it wasn't the same as doing that. That was the first gig. It was absolutely insane, but it was amazing.
Yeah. So compared to for all of you then, compared to previous bands playing in front of that many people, how did that compare then? Like, I'm guessing you've played in front of big audiences before, Wendall, but what about Freaky and Evsy and all those guys?
Well, I mean, Gary's done even more than me, really. So, for Evsy and Freaky, that was the first big gig they've actually done, like that. Yeah. So, they loved it. They took to it like fish to water. The thing is, they've been around it so much, and like, been at the gigs with the Buffalo Boys, and Freaky's been at the gigs with me, like back all the way through. And so it's even though they weren't playing before, you've still got that, that sort of knowledge and feel for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because from going from, like I said, from nothing for 2 years and then smashing Bloodstock, that's fucking awesome, isn't it? Absolutely.
Amazing. And we've talked after, and the boys said, they did it. They, twitching a bit of nerves, beforehand and whatever. But and it was weird as we driving into Bloodstock. When I was younger, in powder days, I used to be terrible. I'd be at my head down the toilet spewing before I went on stage. The adrenaline used to really get me. But it was like part and parcel of like once I hit the stage, it was bang, it was fine. And then sort of as I've got older, and especially in Killing for Company, because I was the bass player basically. So, and the pressure wasn't on me. So I sort of overcome that. So I don't get that nervous feeling anymore, or that like the rushing that I used to get. But as we were driving in, and I was like, I don't feel like this anymore. What's going on here? Like, this isn't.
Yeah.
And I promised myself, I was like, when we played the Liberty Stadium with Killing for Company with the Who, I literally only had the crash like 12 months before. I was still on a walking stick, so I literally walked up to the stage, hung my walking stick on the amp, and then just played for half an hour. And I didn't really notice it because I was so concentrating on standing up. The whole thing just passed me by. Do you know what I mean? It was I see the pictures and whatever else now, and I'm like, wow, yeah. But parts of it are just a blur. And I thought this time, you know, I'm going to savor every fucking moment of it. So when I got on that stage, I just lapped it up. I loved it. I fucking absolutely loved every fucking minute of it. Eyeball the crowd, like take it all in, and just give it plenty. And you know, just before I went on, I was looking up, thinking, Stuart, boy, you're looking over me by here now. I'm going to get on this stage and I'm going to fucking smash it. It's
awesome.
Like, this is the one. Like, we didn't do Donington. We're doing this one. Like, this is happening. Like, it's going.
Oh, it's class.
Yeah, life's too short not to enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, we were due to come in.
Enjoy every moment. You don't know what's around the corner, like.
Exactly.
No, when I've learned that during the beginning of COVID. So we watched you guys down in it was I think that was Sin City with Buffalo. And that was the very, very first gig they did with their new album. And then we were due to watch the very last one in the Patriot. And then obviously you guys headlined then, didn't they? And then Buffalo did an acoustic set.
Yeah.
But because it was like kind of kicking off and everything was going on, I kind of like made the decision, and I said to the missus, I said, we'll definitely see the guys again very, very soon. It's all kicking off. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I don't think we should go. And then we fucking locked everything down for 18 months. I was like kicking myself then because I was still in contact, you know, Lee Evans. I was in contact with Lee, and he was like, "Oh, it's fucking awesome. We had a great night and all." I'm like, "Shut up, Lee, will you?" We had tickets and we didn't go.
Oh, spirit, mate.
Yeah, I just chickened out. I was thinking, I don't know what's going on. There was people getting it in work and people around me, and I was thinking, I just don't know. Because I remember speaking to you in Freaky in Sin City. And the first person in Wales had it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was he lived in Swansea, I think, as well, didn't he? Yeah. I remember speaking to you about it, and I was thinking, oh man, this is just going to start kicking off. And I was like, I don't know, I just don't know what to do. And even the night, we were still umming and ahhing right up until about 7 o'clock. Do we go? Do we not go? And the missus was like, I'll drive, but we just thought, we won't bother just in case, because we didn't, you know, we had to like protect our parents and all that sort of stuff as well. And I was like, I just don't know what to do.
Thing is, at that time, it was an hard decision to make, wasn't it? We didn't know what we had.
Yeah. Lee just called me a pussy and said, I missed like a good night.
What a legend. Brilliant, like classic Lee.
I know, yeah. So I was kicking myself then, because obviously, I think the first gig back then for us was Steelhouse. So that was the first gig back for us was Steelhouse.
Enjoy it? Was it good?
Oh, it was immense. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Saw a load of the footage of it and stuff, and it looked amazing, to be fair.
Yeah, the weather was lush, and it was nice to see the band, but also seeing Lee and my buddies, John and Sean and all my mates that I hadn't seen for over 18 months. But it was funny. I mean, my missus is so good, and she, like, when we were walking up to new friends, she'd be like, "Are you dealing with social distancing? Are you knuckling or are you cutching?" And you know what I mean? So it was a bit strange to start with, and it was a bit surreal, kind of like being around loads of people again, because like I hadn't been out. I sent the wife to the shop, so I stayed in the back garden for 4 months while I was furloughed, getting pissed and sitting in the hot tub. And then I've been working from home. Yeah.
I literally had 4 barbecues in that first 4 weeks than I've had in the last 20 years. Like.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Sun was shite. Like, what do we do today? Barbecue?
Yeah, beautiful, wasn't it? Those 4 months, the weather was amazing, absolutely amazing. But the missus was still working, so I'd be like, I get up in about 12 o'clock, and I'd be like, is it too early to have a drink, love? And she was like, not working.
Coming home from work and you're paralytic on the sofa. Like.
That's it. Yeah.
Blowing bubbles in the hot tub he was.
Yeah, that's right.
Living the dream.
That's it. So like I said, yeah, the last gig would have been you, but it still was you, but that was in Sin City, so the last gig that we saw was in which I think was in the January.
But that was, I think it was February, wasn't it?
Oh, February, was it? Okay.
I think it was, because it was the first date of the tour, really, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. So that was my last gig, was the February, and then the next one then has been Steelhouse. So I really, really missed music. So you need to start booking some gigs, bud, so we can come and watch you.
Yeah, get him up for like...
Definitely.
Yeah, get hold of Nick tonight and get up there on the weekend. I'll be up and watch you on this weekend.
Well, you won't be drinking.
I will. I've already said. What I've said I'm going to do is I'm only going to drink at gigs.
Sure, you want to give that up?
I know.
Oh, you can get Warsteiner over there.
Do you know what? I found that in Iceland today.
It's fucking great beer, that is. It is. I like Warsteiner, I gotta be honest.
Get up the Iceland bite. They got it there. £1.59 a bottle.
Oh, that's cheap. Well, I don't need to go to Iceland. I live in Holland.
But I best not £1.59 in Holland, is it?
The Iceland I want, where you get some meatballs and fucking pizzas at the same time. Like.
It's I don't know. It's about 10 a crate. That's 24 bottles.
That's not bad then.
That's not bad.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more expensive. Yeah, it's not too bad. So yeah, that's good beer, man. Warsteiner.
It is banging. Very nice indeed. Like.
Yeah, if you want to get on the Nick, Dave, and get him to sell that instead of that Heineken shite.
Yeah. Well, they were selling this on tap at Bloodstock in the VIP area. That's what they were serving. So
yeah, were they?
Like, yeah. So when I saw it today, I was like, I'm having that.
Yeah. That's good beer. It is good beer.
Like,
fair play.
Oh, I'm blaming.
All right then, mate.
Wow. Good stuff.
All right, we covered all things Perla, Killing for Company, Powder, whatever else you had.
Revival.
The Sushi Company.
You got a busy life, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, you've been around a bit. So.
Yeah. You can see it in the beard, boy.
I know. Well, mine looks a funny green colour because I keep dyeing it. I can't stand the grey in it, so I keep dyeing it brown. But the only thing is, when the brown comes out, it goes fucking green. Then
you've got to embrace the white boy. It's happening. It's not going to stop. Like
I know. That's the trouble, isn't it?
I've been all right with the hair. The hair's still brown, but the beard white.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
I know.
My ear's just falling out. That's why I've been investing in lots of baseball caps. So I just know where I shave it off now and just keep a bit of a beard. That's the
all right.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, I got a story. If you want to hear my story, I don't know if you want to hear it, Wendell.
Let's hear it.
Because what I'm doing now, when we get guests on, I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to find a story from where the guest is from. So this one was from North Wales, but it's still Wales, you know.
Yeah.
So she was a psychic, and in 2005 she was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, a form of cancer, and they pretty much only gave her a few weeks to live, but she made a miraculous recovery over a year.
Yeah.
And after her recovery, she found out that she could talk to animals and she could read their minds. which is pretty amazing. And so she's now, well, she was a veterinary nurse, so it's obviously come from the background of being a veterinary nurse. But now she can talk to horses, dogs, cats, birds. She's actually spoken to skunks and kangaroos and wallabies. So she must have been in fucking Australia, seeing she's from Wales. And over the years, she's been the pet psychic. She's called the pet psychic, and she's been on programs like This Morning and Loose Women.
Yeah.
And Towie, Paul O'Grady. Paul O'Grady's that puffy guy, isn't he?
He's he was
Lily Savage.
Lily Savage, yeah.
That's right.
Lily Savage. That's
So
what we call
yeah.
Freaky.
So yeah, so she says she talks to these animals, and it's actually like hearing her own brain working. So that's probably what it is. It's probably her own brain working overtime, to be honest.
So what is it then? If people have got like a
Telepathy.
messed up dog, do they take their dog to go and say, why does he keep eating the yellow pages, or why does he keep shitting on the carpet, or whatever?
Yeah, and then she telepathically talks to the dog.
Yeah.
And asks them all these questions. And she notices flashing lights and stuff. It's a bit weird, you know. And then then she can give them treatment.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So apparently all animals do telepath. I can't even fucking say it now. Telepathy.
Telepathic.
So
You should give Johnny Williams a call. He can talk to animals as well. Did you know that?
No.
Johnny Williams and Buffalo Summer can talk to animals. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Never.
Honest to God. Especially goats.
Really?
Oh,
He's a goat whisperer, is he?
He's a fucking goat whisperer.
Oh, we'll have to have a chat with him about that.
Definitely, boy. Definitely. It's one of his hidden talents.
So she says she's communicated with a variety of wild animals, from wallabies to kangaroos, skunks and birds. But with domestic animals, you can give more clarity because people know their pets. And she also goes on to say, I can also communicate with humans, but I focus completely on animals. Humans already have a voice, animals need a voice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But she was a psychic before all that, you said?
Yeah, so she says, yeah. Apparently she's a celebrity animal psychic. I don't know how many celebrity animals are out there, but...
Oh, celebrities are mad on their animal. Like Paris Hilton with her dogs that she puts in a handbag and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the dog is probably saying, get me out the fucking handbag. That's probably what the dog's saying.
It is. That's the trouble, isn't it, you know?
There's not as many celebrity animals anymore, is there? You haven't got your lassies and your black beauties. They're all gone, by.
That's it. Basil Brush.
They are, aren't they?
Gordon the Gopher.
Yeah. Yeah. There isn't any about anymore, is there?
No. They're all gone, son.
Yeah.
She says, while skepticism and negativity comes with the job, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Jackie revealed that skeptics don't get in the way of her work. So she's obviously only a psychic to the stars, darling. You know, people that can fucking afford her.
You gotta love it.
So I don't know if you saw the episode we had Wendall with the young lady who is dating an alien.
Oh yeah.
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 It was freaky that I commented on one of our shows afterwards, because Freaky messaged me and he said you guys done really well there to keep a straight face. And I said, well, you know, we were a guest and we were interviewing her to understand what was going on. And Freaky said she was batshit crazy. But she was we had a wicked time with her. She was awesome, and we're invited to her wedding.
Yeah.
There we are. Amazing.
So I'm keeping in touch with Abby, and we're definitely coming to her wedding. I can't wait for that, because I've been to some great weddings, but never.
Did she get married to Mac and me?
No. We named him Paul, didn't we, Ter? So
yeah.
Terry decided to name him Paul. So she said, okay, she went with that because she didn't want to release his name because the FBI would be on his case.
The CIA or someone, they were going to...
Yeah. And then we asked her about whether he was related to the guys that had the accident in Roswell. And she said, I'm not allowed to talk about the Roswell incident. And then she did say then she's hoping that he's going to ask the question. Propose, and she's looking to see whether she can get married on Earth or whether it'll have to be done in orbit. So I'm up for either, I gotta be honest.
Yeah. Did he have a knee to get down on?
Sorry? I missed that.
We don't know if aliens got legs, do we?
He's got really long legs.
He's got really long legs. She said he's about twice as, well, quite a bit.
He's about fucking 8 foot tall, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite a bit bigger than a normal human. Got massive long fingers, which ain't a benefit really because he does everything telepathically. And it's like having 1,000 orgasms.
Oh, amazing. Lucky girl.
No, if anybody's going to know about your song, The Gusher, it's going to be her, isn't it?
Here's the Gusher.
Yeah, you have to nickname her the Tsunami. But she was such good fun, wasn't she? She was really good fun. And a lovely kid as well. She was a really nice girl, so we had a great time. Like I said,
on the topic of aliens, I saw an amazing T-shirt at Bloodstock. It was like Alien versus Predator, it said in that logo for the film, and then underneath was a picture of E.T. and Michael Jackson.
I didn't know E.T. was a predator.
Yes, it was.
It's still coming off.
All right, then, mate. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, it's been good to finally get you on.
Yeah, it's been. We've been talking about it for a while, and.
Sorry, it's taking so long. I'm like a dinosaur with technology, as you saw earlier, trying to get my camera on. You're lucky I'm on here. You're lucky.
Yeah, it's been good, man. And that's what I said. I think it'd be nice. It was nice to get you on after Bloodstock as well, so to understand how I went and amazing, absolutely amazing. It's not one I've ever done, so my mate keeps telling me about going to Bloodstock, so it's definitely to check out.
Yeah.
Well done to Andy for repping his Perla shirt.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, legend one is.
That's great. All right then, mate. Let you go. Go and have your dinner or whatever if you haven't already had it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
I want liquid tea, nice liquid tea.
And you can come back on and tell us when your album's out.
Definitely, man. Definitely give us a shout, and I'll come back on and have a chat about it all when it's ready to go. Like.
All right, nice one, mate.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
John, see you guys.
Yeah,
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.